Good afternoon. I'll be playing as Dr. Phil.
I'll be playing as Abdul.
Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go, in 10.
Stand by, camera 6. If it's happening now, we're going to deal with it now.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. I'm taking people with real problems and moving them into the Dr. Phil.
Once known to English speakers as Bombay, the city of Mumbai is India's largest city with a population of some 12.5 million people. It is the third most expensive office market in the world and has been listed first by the Forbes in the average wealth of its many billionaires. However, Mumbai also suffers from widespread poverty and unemployment, poor public health, and low educational standards for a large portion of its population. Well over 1 million of whom live in market-shift slums. The largest of these houses over 800,000 people in an area less than a square mile, making it one of the most densely populated places on earth. Another of these poverty-filled makeshift slums is Anawadi, which houses 3,000 people on a small patch of land by Mumbai's international airport. Anawadi is next to a sewage lake, yet surrounded by luxury hotels serving the airport. We have a special guest with us today, all the way from Anawadi slums in Mumbai. We welcome Abdul Hassan.
Hello, I'm glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Anawadi, Mumbai. I live in a slum, which basically means that it's a really overpopulated district that's mainly in poverty. I picked up trash for a living and sold it to make money. That's how I help my family.
How's your life growing up, and what difficulties did you face?
Growing up, I lived in a small hut with my family, and I had a small shed on the side where I kept my trash. It was hard for me because I had to drop out of school to help collect trash because my father had developed tuberculosis.
What was your family like?
Well, my mother was a haggler. She kind of took care of the business part of what we did. My father used to collect trash, but he can't anymore because of his tuberculosis and the garbage work for his lungs. My younger brother, Richie, doesn't have to sort or collect any garbage. He intended to go to school and have a job in a luxury hotel that's around Anawadi.
How did picking up trash for a living make you feel?
I mean, it's picking up trash for a living. How am I really supposed to feel? But it helped bring in money to support my family. And typically there aren't a lot of jobs in Anawadi because it's a slum. So I was grateful for what I had. And a lot of people there don't have jobs.
Because I can see up here, the amount of trash Anawadi has is a great amount. So you really had your hands full with that.
I did, but it was hard finding pieces that I could sell back.
Well, that's really great of you to do that. Did you think you'd ever be able to get out of poverty and move to a new place out of the slums?
Honestly, I never thought I'd be able to get out of poverty. Just being there, being poor, it makes you feel like you can't do anything and there's nothing that you can do to get out of it.
Did you ever feel held back because of your past?
A little bit. I didn't feel good enough because of where I came from, but I knew that if I worked hard enough and I really put my mind to it, I could really do anything, regardless of where I came from. So.
And I've noticed by reading the book, Behind New Forevers, that you attended school, but then you dropped out. How did dropping out of school really make you feel?
I didn't really regret it because I did it to support my family, and I'm glad I did. I do wish I could go back sometimes and learn something to further myself and my future, but I did what I had to do, and I really wanted to support my family. That was a big necessity for me. So.
It's very admirable. So I know you picked up trash for practically your whole life. What kind of work do you do right now?
Right now, I own a small recycling business, and I'm planning to expand it in a couple of years.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you ever have any dreams that you regret not pursuing or not going for?
No, all I wanted to do was support my family.
Coming from a poor background, are you willing to give back to your community?
Many people have asked me that question. I honestly think that if you came from somewhere poor or just like in general, you should try and help the community. And because people there, they're in that situation and some of them don't know how to get out. So of course I want to support them.
Well, according to this picture, it seems like Anawati could use a little bit of help. How do you feel about the poverty to the United States? Because if you see right here, this right now is how Americans who are poor do. They ask for money on the side of the road. They don't sell trash like you do or anyone else in Anawati. Also here you can see this is how families, little kids live here in the United States versus what I'm pretty sure you had to live in.
It's a very different type of poverty in Anawati versus here in the United States, because here in the United States, there's bridges you can sleep under, there's soup kitchens, homeless shelters, clothing drives, and multiple charities that will help you and try to help the poor. But in Anawati, that's just a way of life. That's what you deal with every day, and I'm sure people deal with that here. Like, of course people deal with that here, but it's different.
As I was reading the book Behind the View Forever's, I came across a motif that is very wrapped around your life, and it's basically poverty. How does that make you feel as a survivor of someone who was able to escape poverty?
I feel really lucky to have escaped. It was a really low place in my life, and I didn't think I'd get out. But I still want to help people who are in that bad situation because some of them can't leave or don't know how to.
Has picking up trash affected your health? Because you recently told me that your father suffered from tuberculosis due to picking up trash.
No, I don't have that kind of problem. But again, my father did, and he got really sick from it because picking up all that trash did affect his lungs.
I'm sure
But it didn't affect me, which I'm really grateful for that. It's very good.
So tell me, what is the most important aspect of life to you?
Family is definitely the most important thing to me. Family is always going to be there for you and like through everything. And most people, when you don't have money, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be in your life. But then when you do, they're going to be there. But family, they're going to be there for you through everything. So, and we support each other.
Yeah, family's a very big important thing that a lot of people take for granted nowadays. And money I don't think money really brings you that family bond that you have. It just separates a family more. Me personally, I didn't come from a very wealthy family, and I was able to overcome it and have my own television show. Would you change your life in any way? If so, what? What would you change?
I would change the way people view me. People still see me as poor when they know my background, and I would want to change that because it's just, I want to be treated normally.
You want to be treated differently based on your economic background.
Yeah.
Which is a very big problem that today in American society, a lot of people are discriminated not only based on their race, but also their financial stability, which, in my opinion, it shouldn't matter. It should matter the person you are. So do you feel like the author Catherine Booth demonstrated your life truthfully?
In some aspects, yes. But since she never actually lived in those conditions, she'll never have the true experience of living in poverty and having that as your life. You can write about what Anawati looks like and people's stories from like hearing them, but you won't truly have that experience. And so yes, she did truthfully show some aspects, but she couldn't have written like those kind of experiences from her.
You would have to walk in the position to actually see what they do daily, not just be there for a couple days and record, because that's not the full story. How do you feel? So a little bit getting off track here, but how did you feel when Fatima accused you of burning down her house?
I was upset, hurt, and wrong. I felt wronged because I would personally never do that to a person, and let alone someone with one life, like as she has. She clearly lied because I think she lied because I was an easy target due to my financial status, but I didn't do it, so I just.
Do you feel like people should be accused of things they didn't commit just because of being the weak version?
No, because just because of your financial status or where you came from or just how you look, it's just, you shouldn't accuse someone because of that.
Do you think that people who are less fortunate today or are usually the ones who are the quickest to be accepted?
Yeah, of course, because it's always easy to target someone who's poor, or because like they don't have like a good place. It's a cycle for poor people because they can't get a job because no one's a poor person working for them, but they need the money to escape poverty. So it's a constant cycle, and it's easy to target those kind of people.
Do you feel like people are mostly targeted for being based on their race or their financial aspects of life, or both?
I want to say both.
In your lifetime, have you experienced any, like now, in today's, rather than just being discriminated based on your financial state, or your used to be financial state, I'm sorry, would you say that you're also discriminated based on your race?
I do get judged and like about things because of my race, but not as badly as some people here in the US.
And did being accused of a crime change your views on people who lie about crimes this serious? Or just crimes in general?
Yeah, because I saw that people will lie just to benefit themselves and they don't care about you or anyone but themselves. So that really changed my views about that.
Currently living in the United States, as you are right now, do you see or like listen on the news or hear about it on the streets about people falsely accusing certain people just to get something out of it?
Yeah, I hear that about some people in the United States, and it's just wrong. You shouldn't do that to further yourself.
How do people react when they hear about your past? Do they judge you at all?
When I tell people about my past, they start to feel bad for me, and I don't want that. I don't want their sympathy. I want to be treated equally because I just want to do something about my future. I don't want someone to give me something because I didn't earn it.
Being seen as an equal.
Yes.
Having once been poor and now being in a better place, like you are today, does that make you have a more open perspective over what the real world actually looks like, rather than what people think it looks like?
Having once been poor, and I am in a better place now, which I'm really grateful for that. It gave me a poor perspective. Well, sorry. Ask that question again. I read your stuff.
Having once been poor and now being in a better place like you are today, does that make you have a more open perspective on what the real world actually looks like, rather than what certain people nowadays think the world is really?
I did. Being poor gave me more of an open perspective. I know what it's like being poor, and I personally know the day-to-day struggles of it, but I don't look down to people in poverty or the lower class because I know that they're trying their best just to get by.
And you have an advantage over many, many people in the world that you can see things from both sides. You know what each person is living based on your circumstances because you yourself have experienced it both ways. Like now today in America, in the United States, there is a lot of poverty, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not that seen unless you really go into like DC or those certain places. But in Anawadi, it seems like everywhere you turn, there's poverty.
Yeah, that's just a life in Anawadi, but
People aren't used to it.
yeah, it's just, that's your life, and yeah, you're of course gonna be used to it. But here, people, yes, there are poor people here, people in poverty, but you don't see it as often. It's more like, it's usually brushed under like the rug or just pushed off like nothing.
So going back to more your life when you were in poverty, what was your day like back then versus what it looks like now?
Well, back then, I had to wake up early and I would collect trash most of the day. I struggled to find good things to sell for money sometimes, and on that day I didn't make money. But now I have a family, I have a wife. I have a real house, a job that pays well, so now I don't have to worry about where or when I'm gonna get my next paycheck. So I'm grateful for what I have now.
Are you expecting any kids? So basically, living most of your life in what I can tell trash, does it make you feel better knowing that your recycling company is cleaning up the streets for so many other people so that they don't have to live in those certain conditions that you have to live in?
I feel better knowing that I can help clean up a place that's covered in trash, and I give money back to the community, so hopefully it'll improve living conditions somewhere else.
So
When you talked about expanding a recycling company, did you just mean in like the United States, or would you like to take it to Anawati? Because I have heard that there are certain people that want to make it better, not just necessarily for like the most attractive parts, but make it better. Would you like to expand it and help where you came from?
Of course, I would like to expand it, but again, that's going to take years because of just like financial things, like I need to get things in place. But I would love to bring it to Anawati and get people jobs so they can help themselves.
I'm very admired by your strength and courage to be able to have that determination and that drive to help you not necessarily give up on your life, but just keep going, you know, never giving up. It's a real inspiration to me as myself, and I'm sure many other people. So any advice you'd like to give to people out there struggling financially and don't think they can prosper in life, or just people in general that don't really see the truth behind poverty?
The one thing I can give, like, for advice-wise, is don't give up. You can work and like work, but if you mentally give up, then that's what's gonna happen. You will give up. But if you're mentally prepared to work hard, to try and work for a better future, then yes, you will somehow get out of poverty.
I think by you saying all that, it's gonna give people who think their life right now is bad when really it isn't. I think your story and your life background will really inspire other people, because they can see that maybe their life isn't as bad as what you did, so they can overcome just like you have. Well, thank you for coming on today and giving us a different perspective of Mumbai and just the world in general, and telling us about your life.
Of course.